Thank you for putting up with that abrupt start.
She's got places to go.
Juliana, would you mind leading us in the pledge?
There you go.
Just stand right there.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome, everyone. It's hard to believe it's already July. Summer has started. Item 1.1, no, let's see. Oh, item 1.1. Pam, would you please note we have quorum. Ms. Solis is not present. She was unable to attend. Item 1.4, approval of minutes, September, is that right?
These are
September?
facilities minutes,
Oh,
yes.
September 6, 2017, September 21st, October 2nd, November 1st, November 28th, December 15th, and January 18th, 2018. Is
Move to approve with one correction.
Yes, ma'am?
On page, let's see, page 12 of the November. On number 6, putting together a calendar with timelines to include getting input from the board for the RFQ. Page 12. We have it as an RFP. Okay. Thank you.
Did you get this, Pam? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Graham. I second. Any other questions? Pam?
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Exer.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Ms. Nájera.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Fierro.
Aye. Item 1.6, open forum. Is anyone here to speak under open forum? Once, twice? Nope. Okay. You don't have anybody signed up, Pam?
No one signed up.
Okay, thank you.
Item 1.7, presentations by individuals, groups, and organizations. Item 1.7.1, Dr. William Sarata will recognize individuals who have retired from the college district.
Chair Fierro, we don't have this formally in the board agenda. This was rather brisk, and it is certainly bittersweet, but I'd like to ask Mr. Al Lawrence to join me at the podium, please, Mr. Lawrence. For more than 30 years at El Paso Community College, Alfred Al Lawrence has been an admired colleague, mentor, and leader. He has dedicated himself to serving students through the effective administration of grant-funded programs. For many years, he oversaw the use of Carl Perkins funds for career and technology education, which led him later to become the Director of Grants Management. Under his leadership, Mr. Lawrence oversaw the development and funding of millions upon millions of dollars to improve college programs and services. He worked with his team to obtain and increase the number of grants from the U.S. Department of Education, the National Science Foundation, the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and many other agencies. He also played a key role in the college's proposal and selection of the EPCC to the Lumina Foundation for Education's Achieving the Dream initiative. He has established an accomplished grants team, collaborated with faculty, staff, and departments college-wide, and has made an important mark at EPCC and upon the students that we're fortunate to serve. Besides impacting students through his work in grants management, he has also positively changed the life of many students as a faculty member in the classroom, where Mr. Lawrence has also taught speech courses for many years at the Trans Mountain campus. In his retirement, he looks forward to spending time with his teenage son, Roman, his daughter and family, and travel. Mr. Lawrence has been recognized throughout the state. I always, whenever there's vendors who try to do the kind of work that Mr. Lawrence does, And I always said, I don't need your company. We've received millions and millions of dollars with the grant team that we have, but it was under the leadership of Mr. Lawrence that we were able to do that. Congratulations, Mr. Lawrence, and thank you for your years of service to El Paso Community College. You will be dearly missed.
Item 1.7.2, Ms. Minerva La Vega Luna, Chrysalis Faculty Advisor, and the student editors will make a presentation regarding the 2018 issue of the College Literary Magazine, which publishes each spring semester showcasing the work of students, staff, faculty, and community members.
Yes.
Good evening. Is the mic on?
Good, is the mic?
Okay, good.
Thank you for having us here and for giving us the opportunity to share the work that Chrysalis is doing. I'm going to give most of the time to the students who are the ones who are doing most of the work for this journal. My name is Minerva La Vega Luna, and this is my second year as faculty advisor for Chrysalis, EPCC's journal. This is the group of people who make it possible. So we have our managing editor and Spanish editor, Lisbeth San Martin Jaurrieta, who's here. Our poetry editors are Christopher Thorson and Sarah Valenzuela, and Sarah is also here. Our fiction editors are Camille Montoya and Teresa Fuentes, and Camille is here. And our nonfiction editors are Nora Wise and Josue Guerrero. Josue is here. This show, you can see the two covers of the two issues that we have worked together to complete 2017 and 2018, and you have a copy of the 2018 journal, which was just released this spring. One of the things that Chrysalis is known for is for promoting the work of faculty, staff, students, and the community at large, visual art and writing. But the other component of Chrysalis is the opportunity that students get to learn about the business of being editors and publishers. And that is one of the things that we have focused on the last couple of years. So starting when I started as a faculty advisor, we developed a structure in which we have senior editors. So we have the first students who serve as editors, where I had the privilege to work with former students and with students who came highly recommended from my colleagues in the English and art disciplines. And then after we completed the first year, these students have, we say that they are senior editors, and what that means is that they are guiding the incoming editors into this. So it becomes a process of training within the journal itself. Some of our editors have already transferred to four-year institutions, and even as that, they have come back And we're planning to have workshops every year where the editors that have completed the full cycle within Chrysalis come back and give workshops about craft and art and literature in general to the incoming editors. But they're going to tell you more about some of the other things that we have been doing.
Hi. So last year, the team was lucky enough to go to AWP, which is one of the most important conference for writers in the United States. And each year is in a different city, and we were really lucky. It was at Washington, D.C., and it was our first time there. And we really didn't know what to expect, but it was amazing, because just imagine a place where everyone does what you love and everyone loves what you love. It was full of books, it was full of writers, full of editors. We got to learn and to meet so many people. And we got the chance to sign up for newsletters from different journals. I even spoke to an editor from the Harvard Review. So it was an amazing experience for all of us. We learned a lot, and we got a lot of new ideas that we actually put on the journals, like the ones that you have in your hands right now. They have a lot of ideas that we grabbed from Washington, D.C. And also, even if AWP was, my favorite part of being at Washington, we also have the chance to go to the monuments and things like we really love. Most of us are like history lovers, and it was full of that kind of experience, the experiences that we love. And I didn't know I will have the chance so soon, like to meet those people and to see those places. So it was really amazing, and it was thanks for Chrysalis and the generous people who support us.
Hi, my name is Sara Valenzuela. When we select work for Chrysalis, we carefully review each submission and place them in a marked folder once we're done reviewing. Once all of us have reviewed each submission, we collaborate as senior editors and editors to make a final decision on which submissions get placed into the journal. Once we finish selecting our material for the journal, we begin the editing process. And in this process, we look for things such as content, artistic qualities, craft, and of course, if there's any mistakes. We also use programs such as Word, which helps us organize our content. We use Excel to keep our contributors' information intact, so such as their contact information as well as their biography, which we do place into the journal. We also most importantly use InDesign, which is the program that we use to make the layout, thank you, the final layout for the journal. And once we've completed this layout on InDesign, that's when we're actually able to send the final product to the publishers. So that's a very important program. We also, as senior editors and editors, gather with Minerva at our new office at Vallaverde and try to plan for other events. And when we're planning for events, we just kind of make expectations of what's going to happen at the event, what we should bring to the event, and just think of creative ways to collaborate with others and attract them towards the event, of course. Ultimately, this process altogether has contributed to my personal academic and professional development, because I've been able to work with these programs and become familiar with them. And I don't know if I would be able to do that without Chrysalis. And also, I've been able to confidently speak with my peers, especially my professors, who I can get constructive feedback from. That's all, thank you.
Hi, I'm Camille Montoya. I'm a fiction editor for Chrysalis. This is my second year with Chrysalis, and this year we were able to have InDesign workshops. So InDesign, like Sara said, is the program that we use to put our journal together. So we were able to put our own chapbooks together, which is an amazing experience. So Minerva held these workshops for us to give us the basics of InDesign and to also show us which colors go with which fonts look good with other fonts, like our personal aesthetics. And this was such an awesome opportunity to have because, well, we're gonna able to put it in our resumes that we can work with this program, and we're gonna be able to do our own side projects, like create our own chapbooks and like even more probably. So that was a really cool aspect in working with Chrysalis.
Sorry, I skipped you. So one thing I want to highlight from the journal that we published this year is a new collaboration that we established with the biology discipline, specifically with Dr. Duarte and Paul Hodgkins. And so both of them in their biology classes, in their intro to biology, they gave students handheld microscopes. And they asked them to go and take pictures of the world, whatever they wanted. And the students did, and their professors selected some of those images, which is what you see there. You see the one at the bottom, the right corner, that's a rose petal with a salt grain. And then I forget the name of the bug right above it. But anyway, so we decided to dedicate a section of the journal to emphasize the connections between science and art, which we believe are very strong. And that's something that we started this year and that we will continue to do with in collaboration with the biology department, where we'll have an art contest per se to incorporate art and science.
Good evening. My name is Josue Guerrero. I'm the nonfiction, or one of the nonfiction editors. As far as promoting the journal, thank you. As far as promoting the journal and the work of these writers and artists and photographers, I believe that our biggest promotion tool is the journal itself, as far as creating it and then ultimately giving it away, which is what we do. At all of our events, we always have a box of these journals, and we always have them laid out in front of us. And they're free to everyone, so we hand them out, you know, like they were free. So, and while we're doing so, you know, we're explaining. A lot of these people don't really know what's in this journal. They've never even heard of it. So, while we're doing this, we're explaining to them that these are all local writers, these are all local artists, photographers. And we ask them, do you write, do you draw, do you know anyone that does? And that goes a long way as far as promotion. As far as the events we've done, we did the literary fiesta this year at the library. We had a booth, and like I said, we had our journals and we were giving them away. We did that this year and last year. We also did the Spring Arts Festival at the Loma Verde campus. And there we had an art exhibit of one of the photographers that was featured in last year's issue, or this year's issue of the journal. And she had her photographs spread out and people were able to come and see. As far as that, up on the slide there, you can see the posters that we've come up with the last 3 years. Some of them are like a good size. We also made them like in a little card size so we can leave in places for people to pick up. Apart from that, it's just about communicating with people, just telling them what the journal is about, because it really is, anybody can submit. You don't have to be a student, and it can be anything. So any piece of literature, any photograph, any drawing, you can submit and we will look at. So, yeah, thank you.
I just wanted to conclude, hopefully I speak for all of my coworkers, when I say that working with Chrysalis has given me experience where I'm able to work with and meet other writers and editors, editors. And we're able to interact in a community where before college I did not know existed. Before Chrysalis was introduced to me, I did not know that this community existed. So I think that's really important. And other than that, it's been a wonderful experience. I feel like I have something else to say. Sorry. Oh, yes. And of course, we've been able to encourage our peers so that there's more of a sense of community. And hopefully, I just would like to see Chrysalis continue to grow. And that's all. Thank you.
I just want to highlight, not that I need to because you just heard them, but we are very, very proud of the students that are part of Chrysalis. It is them who do the work, and I trust them with most of it. Like today, I said, okay, well, this is a plan. You guys come over what you have to say, and they're incredible. And I think that is a representation of what can happen when we trust our students and we trust the talent that we have. And we have a lot of talent at EPCC. The students come from a variety of campuses. And although our office is in Valle Verde, we represent the college at large. So thank you so much for your time and for listening to our presentation.
No, thank you very much. And I'll tell you, I really appreciate the fact that you put those bios of the contributors. I mean, what are just a big array of backgrounds, and it's a beautiful piece, and you are correct when you say you have a very talented group there. Thank you very much. Dr. Graham, you were
I was just going to say that I pretty much have kept up with the last few versions of it, and this is by far the best. I really, really liked it.
Well, I should say that this year we moved to a new printer. So I've had experience with publishing, and not only did we get a better deal, so we were able to print more copies, and we are able to have other opportunities for the students to attend conferences, etc., with our budget. But we're happy that the journal would continue to grow and that it represents our aesthetics every year.
Do you ever enter it in contests with?
We haven't, but we will. So I wanted to first to have, because these are our first issues, and in the course of these last 2 years, we've changed printers, we've changed offices, we've come up with a completely new structure. So we've made some fundamental changes that I think, and established collaborations, and I think that now this is when we get to now submit our journal to contests, and it's representative of the work that we have been doing for the last couple of years.
It's very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very well done. Thank you all so much.
Item 1.7.3, Mr. Tony Ayu, Program Coordinator, Emergency Medical Services, and Mr. Sotero Ramirez, Faculty Member, Emergency Medical Services, will make a presentation regarding the participation of the paramedic students and faculty at the First Aid Station during the annual Baton Memorial Death March at White Sands Missile Range on March 25th.
Good evening, Mr. Ayu. Welcome. Before we start, thank you very much for your leadership, not only in your department, but also with the Socorro Independent School District. You do a great job on your free time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairman Fierro. Good evening, Chairman Fierro, members of the board, Dr. Serrata. I'm Tony Ayub. I'm your program coordinator for the MSP program. And I wanted to share some information with you in reference to some of the involvement that some of our faculty and students have been involved in. Mr. Ramirez is actually at a conference, so he was not able to attend this evening, but my boss is here, Dr. Mitchell, to make sure I do the right thing. And so we received I provided you some information a little bit ahead of time for the narrative on the agenda, but the Baton Memorial Death March is an annual commemoration of the Baton Death March. It's attended by many survivors of the march, along with thousands of supporters from around the world. This year was a record-breaking year with 8,471 registered marchers participating in the event that is held at White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. The march has been held there since 1990, and it's a full 26.2-mile marathon, and there's also a 15-mile walk for those people that prefer not to run. The El Paso Community College's Emergency Medical Services Paramedic Program has supported the march with faculty and paramedic students for the last 6 years. I know that Dr. Mitchell has been helping with this event for quite a bit time longer than that. Sotero Ramirez, one of our EMSP faculty members, usually spearheads the event. This year, he and 12 of our paramedic students participated in providing emergency medical care for all participants and spectators as it was needed. With a record number of participants and the extremes of the marathon walk, they assisted in providing emergency medical care to approximately 500 patients over the course of 10 hours. As you can imagine, the types of injuries and illnesses were the full spectrum from minor injuries to serious emergencies. It was an honor for Dr. Mitchell, Mr. Ramirez, and I to represent the college in the MSP program in an award ceremony hosted by the base commander at White Sands Missile Range earlier this year, where El Paso Community College was recognized for our participation by faculty and students with the presentation of a plaque. In addition to that, Mr. Ramirez and the students had partnered with Ms. Joyce Cordell from our marketing department, and they published an article in EMS Week, which is also available online, so they got some national recognition for their efforts. The plaque that we have with us today is a unique plaque in content and design. If I could show it. In content and design, on the left side of the plaque here are actually two engravings of the actual Baton March from 1942. So it's actually some of our soldiers there. On the other side are photographs from this year's march, and then also a member in period uniform from this year's march. So it's a unique plaque. The plaque reads, El Paso Community College for participation, support, and commitment to the annual Baton Memorial Death March at White Sands Missile Range, New Mexico on 25 March 2018. At this time, we would like to ask Dr. Serrata and Chairman Fierro, with your permission, we would like to forward the presentation of this plaque to El Paso Community College, and I'm hoping you will accept this plaque at this time.
As you're coming down, let me just add that the original Baton Death March was when we had soldiers, including some from New Mexico, who were captured in the Philippines. And this represents the march that they were forced as prisoners to take in the Philippines. And there were many that lost their lives. So it's a World War II event. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Good night.
Item 1.7.4, optional presentations will be made by the presidents of the Classified Staff Association, the Professional Staff Association, the Faculty Association, and the Student Government Association.
Good evening to our Board of Trustees, Chairman Dr. Serrata, staff, and guests. My name is Laura Gaither, Interim President for Classified Staff Association. I wanted to share with you a small presentation from our community event at the APCC Family Night Out at the Chihuahuas on Friday, June 15th. But first, I'd like to thank everyone that assisted with this year's night out, the Controller's Office, the Purchasing Department, Bursar's Office, Marketing, Tejano Tribune. Mr. Al Lawrence was our CSA liaison, Brittany Morgan at the El Paso Stadium Operations, and our CSA officers. Go ahead. Did you put it there? Yeah, that was it. Yes. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No other. Item 1.8, communications, none. Item 1.9, Board of Trustee business. Item 1.9.1, the Board of Trustees will consider and deliberate on the adoption of the Student Success Core Team's Equity Group EPCC Equity Statement.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any questions? Mrs. Robles?
Aye.
Mr. Uxer?
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty?
Aye.
Ms. Nahara?
Aye.
Dr. Graham?
Aye.
Mr. Fierro.
Aye.
Item 1.10, Board Reports. Item 1.10.1, Treasurer's Report, May 31st, 2018. No action is necessary. Item 1.10.2, President's Report. Item 1.10.2.1, Dr. Serrata will update the Board of Trustees and audience on recent events that have transpired at the college.
Chair Farrow, members of the board, let me begin with Dean Joshua Villalobos. Mr. Villalobos serves as campus dean and dean of instructional programs at the Mission del Paso campus. You noticed earlier today when we were discussing that particular construction project that he was not here. He's also a former geology professor. He is the recipient of the Presidential Awards for Excellence in Science, Mathematics, and Engineering. This is the highest national mentoring award given by the White House, and the presidential certificate was presented to Dean Villalobos at a recognition ceremony in Washington, D.C. this week. Dean Villalobos was recognized for his work on bringing the Associate of Science in Geology degree back to El Paso Community College and for his involvement in mentoring students. The Presidential Award for Excellence recognizes outstanding efforts of mentors in encouraging the next generation of innovators and developing a science and engineering workforce that reflects the diverse talent of America. Vice President Steve Smith said, as a result of Mr. Villalobos' efforts, EPCC is now producing a significant number of all associate geology degrees in the country, and our students now have a clear educational pathway to transfer to UTEP and other institutions. Congratulations, Dean Villalobos, for this prestigious award. What a great accomplishment and contribution you've made to EPCC and the students that we serve. The 2018 graduates of the Medical Laboratory Technology Program all passed the American Society for Clinical Pathology National Board of Certification exam. The class, and you saw Dr. Mitchell up here earlier, the class not only had a 100% passing rate, but also attained EPCC's mean scaled of score 125 points higher than the national average. Congratulations to these outstanding graduates. Could not have been possible without the great work and dedication of our faculty administration. Thank you to Veronica Dominguez, the program coordinator, Rosa Marta Loya, the clinical coordinator, and all of the adjunct faculty, and Dr. Paula Mitchell, the Rio Grande campus dean and dean of health, career, and technical education, math, and science. 2 criminal justice students were selected by the University of Alabama School of Law to participate in the summer pre-law undergraduate scholars program. Evelyn Barraza and Adriana Franco were the 2 of 30 students chosen nationwide for this honor. The program runs from June 3rd through June 29th at the University of Alabama. Congratulations to our students, and thank you to our criminal justice professors, Dr. Michelle Watkins and Mr. Jeffrey Brokoff, for mentoring these students. Special thanks to Dr. Maisha Pego, our Dean of Education and Career and Technical Education. The Career and Technical Education CTE mobile team is doing some important work in our community. The team attends Cool Canyon Nights, which tonight is not a cool canyon night. It's a rather warm evening, which are free concerts for the public held each Thursday through July 26th. The team includes a faculty member, a counselor, financial aid representative, and a registrar representative. Main goal of this initiative is to have presence in the community and offer information about CTE, continuing education, and transfer course pathways. In May, there were 70 contacts. Thank you to the CTE mobile team and Dr. Maisha Pego, the Dean of Education and Career, and CTE for coordinating this community project. Your efforts are impacting our community and very much appreciated. On April 24th, 2018, 10 dynamic Borderlands student teams were recognized at an inspirational award ceremony to celebrate the winners of the STEAMX competitions. EPCC students were challenged in a series of stimulating STEAM-oriented projects, and the goal of this year's theme, Get STEAMed, was to capture Generation Y's zeitgeist, an all-encompassing event for students to take STEAM applications and apply them to innovative real-world project-based competitions. Special thanks and appreciation to EPCC programs that participated, which included the Quality Enhancement Plan, or QEP, Dr. Andy Quiroz, QEP Director, and Dr. Gertrude Konings, Trans Mountain Biology Professor for the Service Learning Program, Ms. Pat Islas, Coordinator, and Naomi Weisman, Trans Mountain Biology Professor, and Culinary Arts Program Chef Jesus Lugo and Chef Daniel Guerra. Many thanks to Dean Rick Webb for your support as well. I'd ask the board to join me and other members of the college for the groundbreaking of the new facilities at the Mission del Paso campus cafeteria on Wednesday, July the 25th at 9:30 a.m. The final groundbreaking will be held on August the 30th at the Northwest campus in the library multipurpose room. Finally, I'd closed this week rather, met with the Texas Association of Community Colleges, TAC, as well as the Trustees organization, as well as the faculty organization, have worked together and have completed the legislative agenda for this upcoming legislative session. We did that in June. This is the soonest that we've ever completed our agenda. Formula funding, leading with success points, will be the primary item for us, looking at success points going from approximately $173 per point to $215 per point. In addition, we will be focusing on dual credit, setting up statewide goals, expanding a grant program for dual credit students, and also advising the legislature to roll back freshmen out of dual credit unless they are in an early college high school. And finally, we'll be partnering with the Texas Workforce Commission on workforce education, increasing CTE dual credit, as well as asking for additional funds for the Skills Development Fund and the JET program that are both administered by the Texas Workforce Commission under Chairman Alcantar's leadership. The board and I will be holding legislative briefings with our local delegation beginning in August. Once we complete those, we will meet with local officials, county officials, city officials, both chambers of commerce, among others, to share our legislative agenda and to garner support in that particular area. And that concludes my report, Chair.
Dr. Serrata, congratulations on another successful month.
Item 1.11, consent docket, which includes items 3.2 and 8.1.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any questions? Pam, please.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Ms. Nahara.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Fierro.
Aye.
Item 2.0, administration, none. Item 3.1, full-time institutionally funded actions.
Move to approve?
Second.
Any questions? Pam, we're ready.
Mrs. Robles.
Aye.
Mr. Uxer.
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty.
Aye.
Ms. Nahara.
Aye.
Dr. Graham.
Aye.
Mr. Fierro.
Aye.
Item 3.3, information items, no action is required. Item 4.1, consideration and deliberation on the approval to purchase desktop computers and laptops throughout the district from Dell Marketing LP in the amount of $524,480.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a question.
Go.
Mr. Uxer? Go ahead, Mr.
No,
Uxer.
she
You
goes
were
ahead.
first.
Okay, Dr. Owen, what is the advantage of desktops and laptops as opposed to tablets? Looks like everything is going to tablets with cloud computing.
You are correct. Some of these are for the labs, and even though we do have a lot of mobile devices, some of them we do still have desktops in the labs. And some of these labs are the engineering labs, the math emporium, so we do have a classroom setting where we do need desktops.
For the simulation program?
Correct.
Okay.
Dr. Graham?
My question was just, what do you do with the old ones?
Well, we refurbish many of the old ones, and we shift them to the departments that did not get new ones. And we used to have a community program before, so sometimes we shift them to the community also.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Pam?
Mrs. Robles?
Aye.
Mr. Uxer?
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty?
Aye.
Ms. Nahara?
Aye.
Dr. Graham?
Aye.
Mr. Fierro.
Aye.
Item 4.2, consideration and deliberation on the approval of contract awards for collection agency services to S&S Recovery and Southwest Credit Systems LP.
Move to approve 4.2 and 5.1.
Second.
Item 5.1, consideration and deliberation on the approval to award a contract to Gage Electric Company for district-wide exterior lighting, relamping, and ballast replacement services in the amount not to exceed $150,000.
Questions? Pam?
Mrs. Robles?
Aye.
Mr. Uxer?
Aye.
Mr. Haggerty?
Aye.
Ms. Nahara?
Aye.
Dr. Graham?
Aye.
Mr. Fierro.
Aye.
Item 6.1, curriculum and instruction, none. Item 7.1, student services, none. Item 9.0, unfinished business.
No, not under unfinished business, but I would like to make an announcement that our next board meeting will be on July 12th. A Facility and Finance Committee meeting at 4:30. And then, or the full board meeting on July 30th, 5:30.
Didn't you say we were starting the other one at 3?
Oh,
Budget.
the budget workshop, I'm sorry, 3 PM. On the 12th. And if Josette tells us on the 30th also.
She wants both.
And we do have executive session.
Do we, okay. Would you call us an executive, please?
The Board of Trustees may conduct an executive or closed session pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code for one or more of the following reasons: consultation with its attorney to seek or receive legal advice, or consultation regarding pending or contemplated litigation, or for any purpose authorized by law, discussion about the value or transfer of real property, discussion about a prospective gift or donation, consideration of specific personnel matters, discussion about security personnel or devices, or discussion of certain economic development matters. The board may also announce that it will go into executive session on any item listed on the agenda if the subject matter is permitted for a closed session. By provisions of Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, any vote regarding these items shall be taken in open session. Time is 6:19 PM.
Thank you, Pam.
The time is 7:21 PM. Board is back in session.
Motion adjourned. Second. Thank you, buddy.
Aye.
Everybody, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ebert. Everyone.